Hello friends, welcome to my channel.
सर आइजैक न्यूटन इतिहास के महानतम वैज्ञानिकों में से एक, अक्सर शास्त्रीय भौतिकी के जनक कहा जाता है.
He revolutionized our understanding of motion, gravity, light, and mathematics. Today, we will talk about Sir Isaac Newton's biography, childhood, education, major contributions, and finally, death and legacy. So stay tuned till the end. And if you are new here, please subscribe. Isaac Newton was born on January 4th, 1643 in Woolsthorpe, Lincolnshire, England. Newton was a premature baby, weak at birth, but grew into a curious child. As a boy, he showed curiosity about how things worked and asked lots of questions. When he was 3 years old, his mother remarried and he went to live with his grandmother. This meant that Newton had very little contact with his mother, and he became quite detached from her. She was a deeply religious woman and brought him up in the Church of England. At age 12, he was sent to the King's School in Grantham. There, he showed academic ability, but also stubbornness. The school's headmaster recognized his abilities and encouraged him to study mathematics. He graduated from Trinity College. Cambridge in 1665. But Newton did not really fit in socially and spent most of his time alone, reading books and thinking deeply about the world around him. In 1665, during his time at Cambridge, Newton went back home due to the Great Plague of London. Universities were closed, and it was safer to stay at home. It was during this time that he developed some of his most important ideas, including calculus, the laws of motion, and universal gravitation. When the university reopened in 1667, he became a fellow of Trinity Hall and began teaching mathematics. He gained a reputation as an excellent teacher. Later, he became the Lucasian Professor of Mathematics at Cambridge. Newton studied various branches of mathematics, including algebra, geometry, and arithmetic. He also advanced the field of optics. Newton made significant contributions to physics, including discovering the law of universal gravitation, inventing the reflecting telescope, and developing the 3 laws of motion. He also helped to develop the scientific method, which is a systematic way of solving problems and answering questions about the natural world. Let's see some of his major contributions. 1. Laws of motion. In 1687, Newton published his groundbreaking work, Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica, Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy, commonly known as the Principia. This book outlined his 3 laws of motion, which describe the relationship between a body and the forces acting upon it, and the resulting motion. The 3 laws of motion are still taught in physics classes today and are the foundation of classical mechanics. They are Newton's most famous contribution to science. First law of motion states that an object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion with the same speed and in the same direction unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. This is also known as the law of inertia. Inertia is the tendency of an object to resist changes in its state of motion. Second law of motion states that the acceleration of an object is directly proportional to the force applied to it and inversely proportional to its mass. Mathematically, this is expressed as F equals ma, where F is the force applied to an object, M is the mass of the object, and A is the acceleration of the object. This means that the greater the force applied to an object, the greater its acceleration. And conversely, the greater the mass of an object, the smaller its acceleration for a given force. Third law of motion states that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. This means that if one object exerts a force on a second object, then the second object exerts an equal and opposite force on the first object. Number 2, universal law of gravitation. Along with his laws of motion, Newton also developed the law of universal gravitation. This law states that every particle in the universe attracts every other particle with a force that is proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between their centers. This means that the more massive the 2 objects are, the greater the gravitational force between them. And the closer they are to each other, the greater the gravitational force between them. Newton's law of universal gravitation explains why apples fall to the ground and why the planets orbit the sun. 3. Work in optics. Newton also made significant contributions to the field of optics. In 1666, he discovered that white light is composed of a spectrum of colors, when he observed that a prism could split white sunlight into a rainbow of colors. He also built the first reflecting telescope, which uses mirrors instead of lenses to focus light. This innovation allowed him to make some of the first detailed observations of the moon and planets. His work in optics led to the development of modern optics, and his reflecting telescope paved the way for future advances in astronomical observation. No. 4. Other physics contributions. In addition to his laws of motion and gravitation, Newton also made contributions to other areas of physics. He studied the force required to keep an object moving in a circular path, now known as centripetal force. He also advanced the understanding of fluid dynamics and the theory of sound waves. Furthermore, he helped establish the scientific method as a way of understanding the natural world through observation, experimentation, and mathematical analysis. Later life. Newton was elected president of the Royal Society in 1703, succeeding John. He held this position until his death. In 1705, he was knighted by Queen Anne and became known as Sir Isaac Newton. From 1717 until his death, Newton worked at the Royal Mint, where he designed new coins and worked to improve the English economy. Despite his many scientific achievements, Newton was a private person and became increasingly reclusive in his later years. He died on March 31, 1727, at the age of 84, and was buried with great honor in Westminster Abbey. Now let's look at some facts about Sir Isaac Newton. No. 1. Calculus. Newton co-developed the branch of mathematics known as calculus, which is the study of continuous change. His work on calculus was initially published in a book called The Method of Fluxions in 1736, which was completed just before his death. No. 2. Alchemy. Newton was interested in alchemy, which was a form of early chemistry, and he conducted experiments in this field throughout his life. However, he kept his alchemical work secret, believing that it would be ridiculed by his peers. Number 3. Atheism. Newton was an atheist and did not believe in the existence of God. This was a controversial belief at the time, and he kept his views hidden for fear of persecution. Number 4. Dowsing. Newton was interested in dowsing, which is the practice of using a forked stick or other device to locate underground water or minerals. He experimented with dowsing rods and believed that they could be used to detect underground water. Major awards and honors. Newton received numerous awards and honors throughout his lifetime, including being elected to the Royal Society in 1672 and knighted by Queen in 1705. He was also awarded the prestigious Copley Medal from the Royal Society twice, in 1705 and 1717. In addition, he was made Master of the Mint in 1717 and Warden of the Cinque Ports in 1719. Conclusion. Isaac Newton was truly a brilliant mind who changed the course of scientific history. His contributions to physics, mathematics, and optics continue to shape our understanding of the world around us today. His work laid the foundation for classical mechanics, gravitation, and optics. And his principles were so successful that physics for the next 200 years was called Newtonian physics. Even though Newton is no longer considered a major figure in physics, his work remains essential for engineering, astronomy, and everyday life. Albert Einstein later extended Newton's laws with relativity, but Newton's ideas remain essential for engineering, astronomy, and daily life. His discoveries and theories have inspired generations of scientists and continue to be studied and debated today. Friends, what do you think about Sir Isaac Newton? Did you like his contributions? If yes, then comment down below. We will be happy to read your comments. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more updates. See you all next time. Until then, keep learning.